Hi, and thank you for joining us here at Tax Talk UK, where we talk about all things tax and help you to navigate the tax system as it applies to you. So, today, as part of our bite-sized demo series showing you how to use your Freeagent software, we're going to show you how to use and how to allocate the transactions in your Landlord software for Freeagent. Before I do that, if I could please ask, if you're new here, please do take a moment to subscribe to our channel. That way you'll easily be able to refer back to this information if you should need to, as well as navigating to lots of other information, all aimed at helping you to navigate the tax system. And if you navigate to the playlist section of our YouTube channel, you will be able to find the Freeagent, the whole series of the bite-sized demos that we have available. So back then to Freeagent for Landlords. So it may be that as part of the newly anticipated MTD that you need to comply with this. That may be what has brought you here, or you may just be looking for an efficient way to manage your accounts. So the software is designed for private landlords who have rental income that they need to account for. So I'm going to jump into the demo version and get into showing you how to allocate your transactions. So here we are in our demo software. So as I say, the license specifically is for landlords. And so therefore, when you come to allocating the transactions, it is geared towards the transactions that you would expect. So I'm going to focus today on allocating the transactions. So we shall work from the assumption that you've already set your software up, you've set up your properties and you're now ready to allocate the transactions. So if we go to the bank account. Here we go, slow internet today. And again, we're going to assume that the bank's already linked. If you need any help doing that, then you can find that in the other demos that we've got available. So we shall go into our bank account, and you may remember that you have two types in Freeagent. So where it says for approval, these are transactions that Freeagent has made an assumption for you, and unexplained means that it hasn't been able to. And this is all down to whether you have the function on for Freeagent to try and guess what your transactions might be for. It's still really important to mention that they will still need to be approved. So I'm going to go into the current year, and we have here unexplained transactions. Here we go. So there's various things that we will need to allocate. And the important thing to remember is what we're trying to achieve here. So the point of allocating the transactions is to tell the software what the transactions relate to, so that the software can then build your profit and loss, so that it can know the total income that you had and the expenses and what are they for. So this will help you with your reporting to HMRC, and to be able to submit your self-assessment tax return. So let's start then with the rent in. So if we have money directly from a tenant, such as here, then this is quite simple. That is all rental income. So we can simply allocate that as rental income. We have the option here to say which property it relates to, and that helps you to manage your profit per property. So that, of course, doesn't need to specifically be notified to HMRC, but that is for your own purposes, so you can know the profitability per per property. But as far as HMRC are concerned, we're just interested in that it's rental income. So then I'm going to explain that transaction. So let's say, though, for example, that you use an agent to manage your properties and they make a deduction for their commission, for their fees. So it's really important, especially now with MTD and it being important to know the total income, that that is separated out. So it could be potentially that historically you have taken the money you've received from your agent as the total rental income. Now, that has never been actually correct to do that, but you're not actually impacting your tax liability by doing that, because what should happen is you'd have the rental income less the agent fees, and the obviously the taxable income is going to be the same then. But now it's really important that you do actually account for the full income that you've received. And again, because this license is designed for landlords, private landlords, it makes it easy for you to be able to do that. So you'll see here the adjustment button. So if you click on that, you'll see add fees or commission. So let's say, for example, that £200 had been deducted from this, and that is for letting agent fees, property management fees. You would put whichever was appropriate. And again, you've got the ability to say which property that this relates to. And then we're going to save and finish that adjustment. And that will take us back to the main bank feed. And now you can see that the rental figure, although it's 5,980 coming in, it's now asking us to allocate 6,180 because it's now accounted for £200 deduction. And so if we now go to that transaction, we can now allocate that as rental income and explain that transaction. And it may be sometimes that you have put some money into the account of your own funds that are nothing to do with rental income or anything to do with that. And so we want to allocate all of the transactions. So we need to allocate that one too. So here we would allocate that as money received from user. And apologies for the slow internet today. And the users would be the users that are set up on your license, and that would just be capital introduced. So that has now explained the money is in. So we've looked at rental income when that's full rental income, no deductions. We've looked at how to manage if we've got a deduction for fees, to make sure that that's correctly accounted, and when you've put your own money into the account. So then let's start to look at the monies going out. So again, it's the same principle, that we're just looking to tell the software what these are for, so that then we will have a profit and loss that can then be used to notify HMRC of the information. So here we go then. So we've got some money out for insurance. So again, if we click on it, and we can see that the category is, they're all designed for what you would expect from a property income account. So we're going to say that that's insurance, and again we'll say which property it's for, and we're going to explain that transaction. Now, and so this is repairs, and so we would choose that. One thing to mention, you'll see that the VAT button is on as long as you're not registered for VAT and the software doesn't think that you are, even if it does include VAT. That will be kind of there for your information, but it will account for the full gross cost. So that is something that sometimes people do ask about. So there we go. We've looked at the monies in and monies out, and then just the last thing to look at is your mortgage payments. So you will be aware that these days, so we're only talking about the interest element of your mortgage, that is no longer part of the profit and loss, but it's claimed as a tax credit at a restricted rate instead. But still, we need to know how much mortgage interest you have paid. So I am going to assume on this basis, I'm going to work on the basis that this payment that I'm allocating is all for, it's a mortgage interest. Um, it's an interest only mortgage. But as I say, if it is a case that you have a repayment mortgage, you do need to separate out the repayment element to the interest. So you will see that we've got a residential interest payable allocation, and we can explain that. And then I'm just going to quickly show you, if I go to the reporting and to the profit and loss, and that was the 23-24 year that was in, you can see that we have the rental income and we have the agent fees now separated out, and we can see that interest payable. And you will notice those eagle eyes amongst you that some of the transactions were in 24, 25. So that is why they're not all included there. So hopefully this gives you an overview and helps you to be able to allocate your bank transactions. So link your bank to the software, and then you can simply allocate the transactions. It may be that you don't have a separate bank account. You can see from this demo why it's easier to have a separate bank account. If you do have personal transactions, then they would just be allocated accordingly. Allocated accordingly using the money in and out from user. So you don't want to leave transactions unallocated, because that makes the software hard to manage, and you have to keep looking, have you allocated all the ones that you need to. So you do want to allocate every transaction, but anything that's nothing to do with your rental property in or out just needs to be allocated accordingly so that it doesn't end up on the profit and loss. So I hope that has been helpful. Obviously, any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. Anything else that needs further clarification or further demos, then that is always helpful for us to make sure that we're providing the information that is helpful to you. And as I mentioned already, if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. And thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.